Oh, music. Music. अच्छा बंद करो ये फिर मुझे लाइव चल रहा है क्या अभी?
The video that has enraged the nation. Singer and reality show judge Papon caught on cam kissing a minor. His excuse? Holy hair. Mirror now asked tough questions to Papon's lawyer, who trotted out the banal "she's like a daughter" excuse for his client.
To give a peck to a young child who he feels like a daughter, who he's actually been mentoring, and the relationship which they are sharing is of a father and daughter.
The man at the center of it all hasn't surfaced for an apology or clarification. But he did tweet out, claiming he's innocent and naive.
They just like uploading photos and memes. They are making memes and defaming him.
Actions by these production houses, adults, directors, producers who are with reality shows is not acceptable.
Mirror now asks, is it normal to kiss a minor on her lips? Is kissing a minor on her lips being affectionate? Is Papon abusing his celebrity status? Let's debate.
Well, you're watching the Urban Debater Mirror now, and I'm sure most of you have seen the unedited version of this video that is online, that has, and rightfully so, enraged most of the country. There are some very, very important questions we have to ask ourselves today. We have to ask ourselves, where do we want to draw the line? Now, here we have a celebrity who claims to have kissed this girl, or the lawyer in question says there was a peck on the cheek, that he claims to have kissed this girl out of fatherly affection. Now, is that okay? And I want all of the women who are watching at home right now to ask yourselves, how many times in your lifetime have you heard this excuse? It's fatherly affection, it's uncle-like affection, you're like a daughter to me. This is normally an excuse, a go-to by people who like to touch young children. It's atrocious. The defense that Papon's lawyer has also given us is that he's a father of 2 children himself. I'm not really sure where that should fall in terms of any sort of defense. If he's a father of 2 children himself, does that make him less likely to commit this sort of indiscretion or a crime? And the most important question to ask, and there's a lot of talk about, was it a kiss on the cheek, was it a kiss on the lips, was there consent, is simply this. When you are below the age of 18, and in this case the lawyer says the girl was 9, Papon's own apology, supposed apology on Twitter, says she was 11. When you're below the age of 18, consent is out of the question. You are not old enough to give consent. And you'll see in this video no consent was given. The second question we have to ask ourselves is that the Vishaka guidelines right now are very, very clear about how you should treat a co-worker or a colleague. You are not allowed to touch a co-worker or a colleague under any circumstances, let alone kiss them. In this case, if Papon was shooting with the young artist, that makes her a co-worker or a colleague, and he has no right whatsoever to touch her in any way, fatherly, uncle-like or otherwise. Should he be considered under POCSO as the law takes its course? That's the question we are asking. Should we let this one go because he says that I was naive, I thought it was okay? He also says, I'm the father of 2 children myself. Is that enough justification? Or should Papon be made an example of, so that more girls of that age across the country realize that it's not okay when someone touches me in this manner? I can, in fact, file a complaint. Joining me on the show today, Kumar Jagirdar is a men's rights activist, Zambar Zaidi is a social activist, Yogita Bayana is a social activist who works with children, Ira Trivedi is a writer, Amit Khemka is a senior lawyer with the Delhi High Court, Akash Deep Shabir is a director, Dhanraj Banjari, former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mumbai, and Sarthak Nayak is an advocate with the Supreme Court. I welcome all of you. To this conversation, and thank you for joining us. I'm going to start with Mr. Khemka. Mr. Khemka, the thing that the defense lawyer kept putting up was that The girl and her family in question have gone on record and stated that what happened was in fact a case of, and I'm reading, faulty camera angles and an accidental move, not sexual assault. So if the girl and the family here are saying that this is not really a problem, we don't feel offended, does that mean the case doesn't exist?
Faye, with all seriousness, if you see the video, first he actually pinches one of the girl's cheek, and for quite some time he keeps pinching. Then he holds the other girl's face by one hand, and from the other hand he actually rubs the color on her face and keeps rubbing for a while. Then he turns her face towards himself and kisses her on the lips.
Yes.
I don't know which father does it. The defense coming to you is that it was a fatherly affection. I don't know which father will actually hold the face of his daughter and keep rubbing for a few seconds the color on her entire face and then will kiss her on the lips. The only defense they can say is that it was not intentional or it is done or something like that. But as you rightly pointed out, he is in a position of dominance over this child. Let us have no doubts about it that he can influence the child. And taking benefit of that influence, he did that. If you see the faces of these two kids after the incident, they are clearly, markedly embarrassed.
Yes.
Now that itself is the proof, at least for 509, that it was something which outraged the modesty of these two girls. Even as a child they could understand that it was not modest. It was outraging the modesty of those girls. So, of course, the POCSO and 509 will be attracted, and I don't think the defense of being naive or defense of being foolish or any of those defenses can be taken. And mind it, what was the place? It was his own vanity van. Let us understand that it was not some kind of a party where you were greeting somebody, meeting somebody, and you just hugged or you put a peck on the cheek or pat on the forehead. It is not like that. It was absolutely a deliberate act.
Yes.
It was, to my mind, there was certainly an intention behind it, and please don't
One
more thing.
Yes.
In the end, he says that is the life going on. So that again shows that he himself knew that what he's doing. So he wanted the live thing to be cut off. So this is absolutely bizarre to now say that there was no intention or anything. It is absolutely an offense which this man has committed. Howsoever great or howsoever big he might be, but the law must take its own course.
Absolutely, and I also have with me Sarthak Nayak, I believe, who has a different point of view. Mr. Nayak, thank you for joining us. What is your point of view here? Do you actually see this as fatherly behavior?
कायमी वाचा मानसंधे अत्यात बुद्धि मानते प्रकृत स्वभावत करोमि यद्यत् सकल परस्मयी गुरु वरा यति समर्पयामि. When I commit any action by my body, mind, sense, intellect, I submit it into the holy feet of my guru. There is also a pious, serene and sacrosanct relationship between a guru and a shishya. Now,
Yes.
POCSO Act is no doubt a beneficial legislation. But you know what is the primary objective of POCSO? It was to save the victims who are children. The primary objective was not to victimize other people and use it as a blackmailing tactic or use it as a tactic to garner publicity. As far as this case is concerned, let me tell you what is the statement of the father of the victim. The father of the victim said that absolutely there is no such molestation as far as Papon is concerned. Victim has not stated anything in her 164 statement. The father himself is saying that it is a case of a guru-shishya relationship. Which father would want that a celebrity will molest his child and that to be published in Facebook. The father is not ashamed of the act of Papon. Is the complainant more aggrieved than the father?
So hang on. Which Guru Shishya relationship, and can you, if you're quoting of from the Vedas for me, where does it say that the Guru can kiss the Shishya on the lips without her permission?
First of all, let me tell you, elaborate documentation of the merits of the case and detailed examination of the witnesses will be done at the stage of the trial. This is number one. Number two, as far as the video is concerned, the video is blurred. The video has to be examined. Number three, actus non facitrium nisi mensitria. You have to analyze the conduct. You have to see that whether that conduct was conducted with a guilty state of mind, with an intention to commit an offense. All these things can't be decided in an academic debate or discussion. And let me tell you, in past also we were saying that Arushi Talwar's parents were guilty of commission of the crime. A. Raja was guilty of the commission of the crime. Salman Khan was committed, he killed somebody, but all were acquitted. Has somebody apologized to them? Tomorrow Papon will also be acquitted because in 164 statement nothing will come out. Parents are not agreeing. And as far as this case is concerned, this has to be interpreted in the court of law.
Faye, I am a big fan of Sarthak. I am actually a very big fan of Sarthak and of his articulation. But as of today, on this topic, I don't agree with him at all. We are we are forgetting one basic principles of criminal law, that even a victim can't pardon the accused. It cannot be done. It is an offense against the state.
Two things I would like to tell you quickly.
We are getting into that if the son comes and says, don't investigate my father's death, so you will stop the investigation. If the father comes and says, don't investigate the offense against my daughter, you will stop it. So please don't do that. And what is this Guru Shishya? What is this Guru Shishya? In fact, the same Vedas or same scriptures clearly say that you have to maintain a respectable distance with any lady. Forget about your daughter or forget about a child.
Exactly, you cannot justify such acts by giving such examples.
I may not know as much Sanskrit as he knows.
That might be a publicity stunt by Papon.
Which accused would create an evidence against himself and upload in Facebook?
Let me point out to you, that's a very weak defense, Mr. Sarthak Naik, because this was a Facebook live. It was already going on Facebook.
Justify this act by giving any example or any reason.
He could have done it in privacy. Why in front of 5 different people?
It is obvious from the video that he found himself on the back foot when he realized that this video was going live, and he said, live ja raha hai, kato. Who does that?
Watch the video again. You have to watch the video again.
There was not a single person who was taking the video. There were also other people in the room. Why would somebody molest bringing 5 different people in the room? That act could have been done in privacy. That itself shows that he never had an intention to molest, and it was not done with an intention of actus non facitrium nisi mensitria.
So what was the intention? No, tell me what was the intention.
Intention will be decided at the stage of the trial, but I believe that before that charges will not be framed and he will be acquitted. And as far as his indiscretion is concerned, he has already apologized. The act may not be accepted by many people, but he has already apologize for the act. That may be an indiscretion which will be decided in the court of law.
So basically, based on Sarthak Naik's argument, and I'm going to take this to Dhanraj Vanjari. Sarthak Naik argument, here's my question then, Mr. Vanjari. So basically, Guru-Shishya relationship. So tomorrow, if we send our 9-year-olds and our 10-year-olds to school, and they have teachers who decide to touch their faces, to hold their faces, to pinch their cheeks, and then kiss them on the mouth. Apparently, according to Sarthak Naik, that's okay, Mr. Dhanraj Vanjari.
Yesterday, I saw a video of Jacqueline Fernandez kissing Taimur. Is she accused of molestation?
What he is talking of Vedas.
Sarthak Naik, let Dhanraj Vanjari answer the question, please.
Are they listening me?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Mr. Vanjari. Go ahead.
Are they listening to me? What has been told from Vedas, it's simply rubbish. It's a very lame sort of excuse. If he is telling of Guru-Shishya relationship, it means that he is trying to defend Asaram Bapu and Baba Ram Rahim of this country, which is not at all acceptable. And repeatedly he is talking of acquittal of such cases. That gentleman should understand not to make a mockery of the constitutional law of this country. Acquittal in any offense is not a license for others to commit it openly. He is making a blunderous mistake and mockery of the law of this country. In this clip, it is very clear. This is totally pervert act. He is out of his emotional control and he is trying to do nonsense. Girl's father, if saying so, that is to be examined under what circumstances, under what fear, under what social stigma he is talking like this. So that can be examined, but certainly on the face of it, this is an act of outraging the modesty. It's offense under 354, 509 and POCSO Act also. If such acts been permitted and if he is doing like this, saying that father is a fatherly act, who is the father who like this kind of things? Now, what test they should apply? Number one, if child is minor, I think she is 9 years of age, she can express her emotions. Even if the emotions are not expressed, it's enough to understand for any sensible perceptive mind in this country that her non-verbal language is very awkward, uncomfortable she is. That itself speaks for a verbal insult, that what he has caused to the woman's chastity there in this case. Now coming to the intention, what intention you have is secondary. First of all, what effect it has caused, that is a primary concern over here. Whether the girl feel unchaste of her chastity being woman, whether she feel uncomfortable, that should be the test and the metrics apply in this case to book the accused, whosoever he may be, to book the accused under crime of sexual abuse.
Absolutely. And let me tell you, in relation to a workplace, now there are two different laws we can look to, POCSO and of course sexual harassment at the workplace, given that this was a workplace. I want to bring in also Kumar Jagirdar, who will have a different point of view at this point. Kumar Jagirdar, go ahead.
Yeah, at the outset, I condemn this, complaint itself, because prima facie it appears to be fake. Now, let's understand who is the person who is, sort of done a mistake. The so-called accused, he is running a reality show, and spontaneously he has gone and kissed, maybe because of the good performance of the person whom he is teaching. You cannot say that it is done with a dirty mind. And also, who has got a problem? The child has no problem. The parents of the child has no problem. It is some third party who wants some sort of a publicity stunt, who has come forward to put this complaint. It doesn't fit into POCSO at all. In my understanding, this case, in Indian context, and our feelings and sentiments, to kiss a child is not taken as whether a woman kisses a boy or a man kisses a young child.
Kumar Jagirdar, in our Indian culture, since you're such an advocate of Indian culture, Kumar Jagirdar, in our Indian culture, do we kiss children on the mouth? We kiss young girls on the mouth in our Indian culture, Kumar Jagirdar?
No. See, it is again what does whether he has got a dirty mind.
How do you know? Can you tell me for sure he has a clean mind? Why are you advocating for him?
No, I don't know. So I don't know. So it is in the same way as I don't know, that the complainant also doesn't know. So how can we presume that this man is guilty without even a trial? So this sort of thing, then every person who is kissing a child will be booked under POCSO. Then where is the court? Where is the system? And where we are collapsing? This is not this thing.
It's amazing. So. Here you have a man who has offended a young child, and we are talking about our system collapsing if we throw the book at him.
For a teacher to kiss
it is not natural. Let me just put this out there for anybody who's watching, okay? A young girl might go for guitar lessons, she might take tuition, she might go to school, she might be learning singing, she might be learning anything. It is not okay for any teacher to touch her, to kiss her, to rub her back, to rub her hands. These things have been going on for too long. For too long.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead. Ira Trivedi, go ahead.
Yes, I'm trying to say this, in most cases of child sexual abuse do not come from outsiders but from family members. 90% of cases. If you check the numbers, they are shocking. We are lucky that this got caught on tape. Who knows what's happening beyond what the small clip which is caught on tape. So we have to be very, very cognizant, and we have to take this as a larger lesson, that most of the times that child sexual abuse is happening, it's from family members. And that is the reality. No matter what Sanskrit shlokas are quoted, no matter what religious arguments we give for this, the truth of the matter is that 90% of the cases of child sexual abuse come from family members. What we see in this video, it may or may not be classified as sexual abuse. I think some people are saying that, oh, maybe this is fatherly love. There's a little bit of room for debate, though I definitely think this is completely out of line. You know, it's very, very easy for a woman to tell what is out of line and what is in line. We can see the expressions of the child's face and she's uncomfortable. Which child gets uncomfortable when a father touches her face or kisses her as a father often does a daughter? But we can see there's a lewd act in this video. And that is the reason why we're even having this debate. And this is not just the opinion of 6 people on this panel, it's the opinion of this nation. Most people who have watched this video have made this comment that this is lewd. You know, and if there was any sort of debate here, we would feel and hear the debate. But I do think that 90% of the people are on the case of the girl. And what we do see in the video is a very, very fair example of child sexual abuse. But we should not stop right here. We should keep in mind that we need to learn from this. What we need to learn from this is good touch and bad touch. Children need to be taught about what's good touch and bad touch. And it is the parents' responsibility to teach them and to take care of them. In this case, we see what the father is doing. Where was the mother? You know, often it's the mother's role to take care of the children, especially the daughter. And, you know, because it's,
there
are many instances
we go down that rabbit hole of blaming mothers. We're finally, at the end of the day, blaming a woman at the end that, oh, you weren't always with your daughter 24/7, making sure that your daughter was okay. I don't think it's fair to blame the mother.
Well, parents need to take responsibility. Parents need to take responsibility.
Parents cannot be with children 24/7. What happens when they go to school?
But what is good touch and bad touch?
We need to teach them. We need to
good touch and bad touch. They need to be
they are naturally learned. That they can easily say that what is the good touch and what is the bad touch.
Faye,
that what we need to teach them, that they should come out and speak about the molestation and the abuses. And if we talk about this case, the Papon case, that this is totally shocking. Papon is a renowned.
Children don't know what molestation or abuse is. They don't understand.
They can easily say.
Even adults,
the girl is
don't understand.
The girl is.
How can little kids know what molestation is?
Let me bring in Akashdeep Shabir here to point to make.
I understand your point.
Akashdeep Shabir, you know, we don't see. It's very easy to go down that confusing route of what is it, the mother's fault or the father's fault? But the truth is that it's not the mother or father we're looking at right now. There is someone who overstepped the line.
We cannot play that blame game.
We're not blaming the mother and father. We are clearly saying that kids should teach.
Can I just come in here? Can I have 1 minute?
Okay, fair enough. Point taken, Ira. Point taken. Let me bring in Akashdeep Shabir.
The question is to me, ma'am. Can I speak?
Eye on what's happening with children.
Akashdeep Shabir.
Children are quite intelligent.
Akashdeep Shabir.
Who? Yeah. No, Faye, I'd like to say I think on behalf of the film industry, I would like to hang my head in shame because there is no kind of explanation that can be offered for an act like this. Bad camera angles, fatherly feeling, nonsense. You should not have been doing that. You should not have been, ma'am, can I speak please? You should not have been doing that in the first place, and it is to be condemned. And I hope my fraternity comes out and speaks. The seniors, the biggies come out and speak against this. You know, when we come to channels like yours and we ask the nation to support us at times like Padmavati and all, when the fringe is creating a ruckus, times like these when people in our industry falter, I think my colleagues should come out, tweet, speak and condemn such acts, because something like this should not be tolerated.
Absolutely, very well said.
This is an indefensible case.
Yes,
a gentleman before Ira kept saying that it's a gentleman before Ira spoke said that, oh, we don't know the feeling, we don't know the intention. What rubbish!
This is
you
not
don't
rubbish.
have to be
How do you
doing
know
this
that
in the
it is
first
rubbish?
place. You just don't have to do it in the first place.
Absolutely.
Because you're not supposed to do it in the first place. You're not the
don't
biological
matter.
father.
Absolutely.
Do not do something and then get away by saying I had noble feelings. You are there as a professional judge. You're not, they've not come to your
It
ashram.
sounds pervert.
They don't
Even
stay
if
with
you
you.
are a
They're not
biological
often.
father.
Even if you are a
They're
biological
Even if you are a biological father, you are not
They're
supposed
participants
to
who
do
come
this.
to do their
She's a
job.
grown-up girl.
You better
Even
make
if
She's
you
a
are a
grown-up
biological
girl.
father, you are not supposed to do
And
this.
I would like
Then
to ask
how do
one
you
thing
defend this, sir?
to the man.
No, sir.
Would
Even
you-
if he's
would you
from my
allow
fraternity, I will not
your
defend him.
child? Hello?
Even as a person from my fraternity, I will not defend
Exactly.
him.
I totally agree
I
with
cannot
you.
defend
I
him
totally
even
agree
if he's
with
from
you.
my fraternity.
Let
It's wrong.
me also bring in Yogita Bayana. Yogita Bayana, how often do we hear this, Yogita Bayana? You're like a daughter to me. This is fatherly
This is
affection.
an oldest and ancient bahana.
Faye, this was the very first reason to build POXO. POXO was not made for rape cases, actual rape cases. It was made for such cases where we need to make distinction between whether this is a, what kind of a touch it is. So basically, you are actually making, the people, those who are saying that it was a fatherly touch, making mockery of POXO, because POXO was not written overnight. It was written with lot of R&D. And yes, it is a good law, and it is meant for such cases only where he's saying he's having a fatherly touch.
What kind
You
of see,
a
touch? Just don't touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the point of teaching children good touch, bad touch if we can't even, apply POXO when it comes to the actual situation? And this girl, you can clearly see, if you have seen the actual video, she's feeling so uncomfortable. So that very fact is more than enough to apply POXO. Also, one more thing: whether father is agreed or not, mother is agreed or not, it is a suo motu cognizance. So we don't have to go by what they think. We need to go by what the law says, and actually how the child is feeling, and it is very much evident. And another thing is, I just wanted to bring it to your notice that good touch, bad touch teaching will not help till the time you don't apply. So what's the point? Why we are bragging about good touch, bad touch if we just don't defend such a thing? So they need to really see the practicality.
Yes. All right.
of
Let me open this up right now. Let me open
the
this.
question of good touch and bad touch. Don't touch.
It is not. It is actually
Don't
a bad
touch.
touch. We don't have
Absolutely.
to.
Let me open this up. Let me open this up to the panel right now.
Absolutely.
Yep. Let me absolutely
Don't touch.
Is a bad touch.
especially in the workplace, irrespective of the age of the colleague, don't touch.
Faye, this is not the moment to discuss about good touch or bad
Absolutely.
touch.
Don't touch.
This is not the moment. This is one of those rare cases where we have concrete evidence of the crime. Like Sarthak said, that most of these people would be doing it in privacy, in seclusion, taking benefit of a situation. So here we have a chance, the society, the court, and everybody has a chance to make an example out of it.
By any stretch of imagination,
This should be an example where nobody, especially a person who is in a dominant position, especially who is a guru, so-called, whatever definition Sarthak is giving, or even father, or even grandfather. You might be anybody. You are not supposed to do anything which is going to embarrass the girl or the lady. Now this is a situation, here the father might be saying that, oh, my girl was not embarrassed. It was not, it was quite modest.
But here it is evident.
But no, he cannot decide this. It is the act per
Exactly,
se.
here it is evident, and it is
With some other girl, it could be very, very immodest. She might be ruined, and you don't know. This girl might be saying so because she's in a vulnerable
we
position.
can easily say she is stopping
She's
her
vulnerable.
by hand.
Nobody is saying that.
She's stopping her.
Nobody is
She's
saying that
stopping
the act
him.
of touching a minor is something which is really bad and in which POXO can be.
You can easily say, Papo is saying, "Arey, live direct kato."
You have to
You
see
just go and watch the video again. Papo is saying, "Arey, live direct kato."
But you have to see the case on its facts. What is not the guarantee that...
And you cannot
Yes,
justify
case
Let's hear him out. One
should
second, one
be-
at a time.
or
One
any
at a
show
time.
or any example.
All right, one at a
What
time.
facts are you talking about?
Sarthak Naik, tell us
This should
what
not
are the
happen.
facts. One
You
second,
please
let's
listen
hear
to
him
me.
out.
Everybody
Let's
was
hear him
listening to
out,
you. You
please.
please listen to me.
I'm saying,
Please
I
listen
don't
to me.
understand.
You will understand. Slowly you will understand.
Can I just speak?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
one
you
second.
speak.
Let's hear out the facts according to Sarthak Naik. What are the facts,
There is
Sarthak
no
Naik? Please
doubt
tell us.
that anybody
I
can
want to just say one thing.
Okay, you tell.
What are we supposed to understand? That this shouldn't happen. That's it.
All right, Akashdeep, let's hear Sarthak Naik's
I'm saying,
argument.
what
All
are you
right,
trying to explain?
Akashdeep,
Good
like
gesture,
one at a
bad
time,
gesture,
please.
happen,
Let's
not
hear each
happen.
other out.
All
please.
I'm saying is it should not happen.
Okay, fair enough. We've heard you out.
We got your point.
Okay, Sarthak Naik, what is your argument?
There is
what
no
are the
doubt.
facts?
There is no doubt that anybody can set the criminal law in motion. There is also no doubt that everybody is condemning such act. But nobody is saying that touching a minor is something which is really good. But you have to understand what are the facts in this case.
What are the facts?
I will tell you what are the facts. What is not the guarantee that this is not an indiscretion? What is not the guarantee that this is a faulty camera angle? What is not the guarantee that it could be fatherly love? How can you, why are you laughing?
No, one second,
What is not the guarantee?
Sarthak Naik, I'm sorry, I'm not a lawyer, but tell me something. Where in POCSO, and I'm holding 1 second, Sarthak Naik, is this how you argue in court?
The father doesn't have any problem, the mother doesn't have any problem.
Naik,
The girl himself doesn't have any problem.
Where in POCSO,
He
where in
himself has
POCSO?
uploaded.
Listen.
Don't get into technicalities now.
No.
Where in POCSO, can you hear me? Advocate Naik, can you hear me? Where in POCSO is it written that in case it is fatherly love, it's okay? Because I'm reading through POCSO right now, and it says under sexual assault and punishment thereof, whosoever does any act with sexual intent involving physical contact without penetration is said to have committed sexual assault. The punishment for this is 3 years, which may extend to 5 years. There's also a special punishment for those who are in a position of trust and authority, Mr. Khemka. In this case, Guru Shishya would amount to trust and authority. Now you tell me where in this, can you find in your copy, Mr. Khemka, where does it say fatherly love?
Please.
Supposed fatherly love is allowed.
So
Sarthak Naik, I'll give Sarthak Naik some.
This is not even a case of framing of charges. He himself has admitted that it is an indiscretion.
What is framing the charges?
We are not going by what he's saying. We are going by what we are seeing.
What you have seen
coming on national channel,
Nobody
should
is saying.
understand his
Nobody is
responsibility,
saying.
what he's talking
Nobody
wrong
is
side
framing
of
the
law.
charges.
He doesn't know what law
What we
of
are
the
saying
country.
is, what we are saying is, finish the trial within 3 months. That is what we are saying. Number one, and to your answer, let me answer to your question. You are saying father doesn't have a problem.
Who has given you the right
So
to tarnish
many
his image?
parents
Are you
have
going to
a
apologize?
problem with
Did you
prosecuting a
apologize to
case.
Arvind Dalwa's parents when they were
Because they
acquitted?
don't
Mr.
want,
You only
they don't want to be able to.
All right.
All I can say is that
Let me first of all, 1 second. Just give me a second. Give me a second. Sarthak Naik, I just want to point out something to you. I'm not sure if Sarthak Naik can hear me. Can you hear me, Sarthak?
Have you obtained a certificate on 65B of the Indian Evidence Act?
Sarthak
When
Naik,
obtaining that video? A blurred video
Sarthak.
which is not
Can you
clear.
hear
How
me?
can you point finger towards him?
One second. Just give me a second. Sarthak, if you can hear me, I know you're not a regular guest on this show, but on this show you have to hear what the other panelists are wanting to say, and you have to respond to them. If you keep talking, you can't hear the argument Mr. Khemka is making, and you're not letting him finish. And if you talk over each other, the audience cannot understand what anybody says, and we've defeated our purpose. Now my question, and I'll give you a minute to look through the act so you can come back with it. You said, how do we know for sure that this is not fatherly love? Please check the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act of 2012 and find the clause for me that actually exempts supposed fatherly love, and then we'll come back to it. I know that we have other guests who have something to say. Dhanraj Vanjari, go ahead, sir.
Person who is talking on the national channel should have a sense of responsibility and accountability, at least to the sanctity of law of this country. If he doesn't know the intention and the purpose why POCSO was enacted in the parliament of this great constitution and the nation, then he better should not speak. He is thinking himself, he is a judge of some court, or he is thinking the law has been enacted at his whim. It is not correct equation, gentlemen, whosoever is there. Try to understand this country is bound with the law, and POCSO was enacted after so many decisions and observation of the Supreme Court of this country. And the bad touch, good touch, you forget about. There is no touch phenomena enacted under that act. So what you are talking It's really shocking. Sometimes you say that it's appreciation. What is the appreciation? Tomorrow, if you find some beautiful girl walking on the road and you want to appreciate her beauty or way of walking, you will go and kiss him. Who has given you this license? Nonsense. It is a crime under the law and you should be booked for that. You should be booked for that.
Absolutely. I want to go back to Kumar Jagirdar, who at the beginning of the show gave us
that
three
is the
arguments as
case,
well. Kumar Jagirdar, Kumar Jagidar's arguments were, one second, Mr. Jagirdar, you said it was spontaneous.
Yes.
He was appreciating a good performance. We have no evidence of any of this. You are actually jumping to conclusions, and then you said, how do you know it was done with a dirty mind? How do you know, Mr. Jagirdar, it was done with a clean mind? And how can anyone with a clean mind do something like this?
No, there should not be any presumption of guilt, you know. Let's not come to any conclusion at this stage. Okay, it is for the trial to start and, you know, the judge to decide on this. And, you know, why should we even tell that nobody should touch a child? If that is the case, POSCO Act is gender neutral. That means even a woman cannot touch a boy. When you are talking bad about men and fathers, why can't you also tell that no woman should touch a boy? Even though if that is the case, the children cannot be touched at all. So are we going to that sort of a situation in the society?
Yes.
No, this is not fair. To presume that all men are rapists, all men are molesters.
Nobody is presuming all men are rapists. You know, this is the amusing thing.
How can we say that touching a child is equivalent to abuse? It is not abuse. You know, no, it is not fair. It is not at all fair. India, most 99% of men are good. They are very fair. And they love their children. They love this thing. They know their accountability. How can we say that all women are angels? There are so many women who get who are booked in the POSCO. Why nobody is talking about them? That means no woman should touch a boy.
Yes, no woman should touch a boy, no man should touch a girl. Absolutely.
That says it gender neutral. Why do you say that men are all bad? Human right violation.
One second. Mr. Jagirdar, you know, I know there is a temptation to see everything in some sort of feminist angle, but this is not a feminist thing. You are absolutely right, Mr. Jagirdar. POXO is gender neutral, which means no woman can touch a boy, no woman can touch a girl, no man can touch a boy, no man can touch a girl. Nobody can touch an underaged person according to POXO. You're absolutely right. And nobody is saying that all men are bad or all women are good. This is not even a woman. This is a child. And by making these arguments, you are completely letting someone who doesn't deserve your support to get off the hook by making him seem like a mascot for all men. It's not true. You're talking about a child here. Mr. Khemka, do you feel in some way some sort of kinship towards this person?
Faye, this show has been going on for last few weeks.
Look at the peer pressure.
All these kids are meeting this man on the stage. Has he ever kissed any one of the girls on stage? He does this job inside his vanity van. This itself is a proof of his bad intention.
Some stranger has got a problem here.
If it was so naive, has he done it on stage ever? Has he did not know that this is the live is going on.
Even if parents have no problem with that, then the crime is evident in the video.
Absolutely, they are abetting.
You cannot justify this act by giving any such example or any lame example.
The parents must
How
also
can
be
you
booked.
exactly? If they are justifying such act, then the parents should also be booked.
Let me bring in Yogita Bayana at this point. Yogita.
You mean to say the parents are not well-wishers for the child?
Of course they are not.
They are justifying such act, then they are not.
Of course they are
not. Why did they send it to a reality show if that is the case?
Yogita
They are not
Bayana.
well-wishers for their one child.
Yes.
Yogita Bayana.
They are not if they
No,
are
actually,
justifying such act.
one second. Let's actually look at the legal point of view. Yogita, if the parents believe in this case that nothing bad happened, does that mean there's no case here?
No, it can be a suo moto. POXO applies suo moto. Irrespective of whether parents say or not, she's a minor. She is a minor, so whether they whatever their justification is, whatever is pressurizing them, whether they think it's their whims and fancy, which should not be. Definitely, law doesn't say that. So it is definitely a suo moto case. I mean, definitely, law will take its own due course, and this guy should learn a lesson because no amount of excuses of being holy festival or being more affectionate towards her, no right to kiss I mean, no right to have that kind of a gesture what he has shown here. And in fact, he himself has, justified in the sense by asking them to shut the live video. We don't need more proof.
Live kato kato.
So it means he is guilty. It means he's knowing that he is making her uncomfortable. And these kind of people should learn lessons, because we all go through this kind of situation. You can't cover it up by saying Guru Shishya Pratha. I mean, we are far from those days, we see the reality, what is happening in our schools, what is happening in our houses. Forget about he was a stranger. I mean, he was such a known person, but fathers are doing, stepfathers are doing, what are we talking? Even if it was a fatherly touch, father themselves are doing the act. We see so many cases. So what kind of an excuse it is?
Right, Mr. Khemka, I want to ask you this question. Let's assume that the case moves forward, and if the victim and her parents give witness or testimony saying that nothing bad happened, how will that case proceed? Is the victim's testimony necessary?
Faye, let us understand one thing. All these offences are cognizable offences. Now, cognizable offence is an offence against the state. It is not an offence against a person. It is the state which is the prosecutor. It is not the victim which is the prosecutor. The whole of our criminal justice system is not there to take revenge. We do not take revenge. When we talk about the punishment, we always say that it is not for revenge. It is not. It is to teach lessons. It is to set an example.
Exactly.
It is to set an example. It is to act as a deterrent that we punish a person.
Exactly.
That is the whole purpose, or the reformation if there may be a case. So it is absolutely clear that here there is an evidence.
Exactly.
The evidence is very much there. The man himself comes now on Twitter and says that I understand it was wrong. He himself says it was wrong. He apologizes for it. The only defense he says is, I did not have an intention.
Yes.
And I've already told you that if he did not do this, if he was so naive, he would have done it on the stage. Why didn't he do it on the stage?
Akashdeep Shabir, go ahead, please.
Can I come in here, please? Yeah, Faye, while I appreciate the effort made by the other speakers to explain the technical and the legal implications of the act and etc., all I'd like to say once again is, not just film fraternity, we are all parents. Please don't touch my child. Don't say it's for appreciation. Don't say it's a good touch, bad touch, guru shishya, fatherly feeling. You have no business to do what you did. That's it. That's it. Don't touch my child. Why is everybody and why are some speakers actually trying to defend Papon, saying, oh, his intentions were good, so he's going to catch hold of anybody on the street, anytime, anywhere, and hug and kiss and say, oh, my intentions were good. I wanted to appreciate the jeans you were wearing or your hairstyle. I mean, what do you mean by saying that you are allowed to do this if you're doing it for appreciation? I mean, eminent speakers are actually suggesting such things. Come on, we are all parents. Nobody dare touch our child, matter ends.
Absolutely.
What are we trying to justify? What legal...
Sarthak,
it seems as if we are fighting it in court.
Yes. Sarthak Naik, respond to what Akashdeep Shabir just said.
It sounds as if they are trying to look for loopholes in the court. Are we looking for loopholes to try and save somebody? He's from my fraternity.
First of all, I was forcibly making my points because apart from him, I could hear voice of 20 different people. And I didn't knew that if I am not a regular guest, I can't make my point comprehensively. Now we can keep quiet.
Talking of camera angles.
All right, Akashdeep, all right. Go ahead.
Have you seen the video, sir? Have you seen the video?
Please listen to me. There is no doubt.
If you see the video, you will not talk of camera angles.
I have seen the video. You are not the only person who has seen
the video, sir.
I have seen the video.
So why are you talking of camera angles?
I have seen the video. It is a 100% case of discharge.
Did I say that?
There is no doubt that prima facie a strong case.
How are you talking of camera angles?
Why don't you listen to me? There is no doubt that prima facie a strong case is made out. But that will be decided.
Prima facie, full stop. I end my case. You saw it, so now don't justify.
Complete.
Condemn it. Condemn it. If you are a father of a child, condemn it.
Father of the child is not condemning. Father of the child has no problem. You have the problem.
That's all I'm saying.
You have the problem, and the publicity seeker, the complainant has the problem.
Yes, you can understand. You live in a la land.
In
Do you
future,
live in a la la land?
Let him finish making his point, please. No, one second. Akash, let him finish making his point. Let him finish making his point.
In future, if that will be the case of the law, POCSO will be invoked 1,000 times. Helpless father also will think twice before touching their own girl child.
They should
POCSO is not something which can be invoked at any point of time. You can't use it as a blackmailing tool. You can't use it for harassing others.
At this point?
How do you know that?
Hang on. What is your justification? What are your points in this particular case?
Blackmailing, harassing,
who's blackmailing?
and publicity,
Who's
nothing
harassing?
else.
Who's blackmailing?
This is used as a tool of blackmailing, harassing, and publicity, nothing else.
Who's getting publicity?
You know the complainant is getting publicity.
Who complainant is getting publicity?
Of course,
I beg your pardon. Let me point out to you that Mr. Papon is not that famous. Okay. He is probably getting the most publicity out of it.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody in the country knows
if he's
who
not famous,
he
that
is.
give you. If he's not famous, that give you a license to tarnish his image. He has to be famous in order to tarnish.
Here is a man who kissed a minor on the lips, and I'm tarnishing his image. Sarthak Naik, I'm tarnishing. This is an image you think you're tarnishing. Papon, a random singer who nobody knows.
Who said that he's a random singer? He won IFA award in 2016. He's a famous singer. He's not a random singer. He has strived hard for excellence.
Famous. Now I'll tell you who Papon is.
I am not
Papon is a
what
singer
Papon
who
has
is
achieved.
known most
We are
for
discussing the
the
act.
video that went viral for kissing a minor.
Faye,
Discuss the act. Now tell me.
Let me tell you, I am the last person who believes that children should be molested in India.
There should be nobody in India who believes that children should be molested, whether you're the
but
first
as far as
or the last.
Papon is concerned, he is not guilty of the commission of the.
How do you know? Have you examined all the evidence?
I am not justifying.
Have
But
you
that has to be
examined
proved in
all
the
the
court of law.
evidence? How do you know he's not guilty? How
No,
do
you
know
are
he's
also not going to decide that.
But you have said he's not guilty. How is he not guilty? Tell me,
It's
what
not
is your argument? How do you know he's not guilty?
Are you a judge? You
Are you a judge?
Are you a judge?
Are you a judge?
Are you a judge?
This could go on for a while. I'm telling you.
Yes.
From what I'm seeing on this video right now, it seems like a case of POCSO where there should be a case registered, there should be an investigation that is done, and it should be done immediately before more pressure is placed on the girl and the family, given the fact that according to you, this is a very famous, very successful singer who won an IFA award, and he is possibly more famous and more successful than the victim in question. Should we investigate this immediately? Yes. Is there a case that should be registered? Yes. Should it be registered under POCSO? Yes. Should we also look at sexual harassment in the workplace in this particular case? Yes, we should. Sarthak Naik, you seem to be under the impression here that being famous and being a celebrity makes it okay.
Nobody is saying that. You said that he's nobody. That was the answer to that question. That was not my argument. You said that nobody knows him. He is an ordinary singer. That was the answer to that question. That doesn't mean that he has a license to do whatever he feels like. But that has to be decided at the stage of the trial. Prima facie, a strong case is made out. Let all the let FIR be registered against all the offences. But I am saying that the benefit of the doubt should be given to him in a criminal case till the case is finally decided. That doesn't mean that I am endorsing that child should be molested.
You know what? I know you came here in a hurry. You possibly didn't get a chance to read through the law. The benefit of the doubt in a POCSO case is always given to the victim.
When the victim gives a
burden
164,
of proof
not from
is always placed on the accused.
When the victim
not
gives a 164, when the parents corroborate
so
with the piece of
your
evidence,
argument that the benefit of doubt should be given to the accused, Sarthak Naik, is not as per the law. I'm sorry. You should make more stronger legal arguments. Mr. Amit Khemka, give the benefit of doubt to the accused in this case.
Faye, let us not forget one thing, that none of the parents were present. Now, without being present there, how does this father give a clean chit to this guy? You know, he seems to be overawed by the personality of this man, or he seems to be overawed by the fact that his daughter is a contestant in a show where he desperately wants her to win. It could be one of those factors. He could be overawed, or he could be thinking that he doesn't want to get into any problem with a big man. He might be afraid. He might be under pressure. So there are so many facts which, even if, and above all, he is nobody to give clean chit. Whatever may be the facts, he cannot give a clean chit. It is the video which is clear. It is absolutely apparent. And like Akashdeep rightly said, that I don't want my child, or rather any lady or any daughter or anybody. I do not want her to be touched.
In fact, you know, yes, absolutely, absolutely. I just want to play this out to you because earlier today we spoke with the lawyer that's defending Papon, and you know from this conversation what his defense is, and I want the panel to respond to this defense. Can we play that out? We'll just play out a minute or so. Mr. Kant, have you seen the video in question? What is the defense that Papon is offering at this point for what happened?
Well, you know, the entire thing has surfaced from a video which has actually been uploaded by this, and this is a very crucial fact which is being completely ignored or not taken into consideration, that how did this all start? Where did the complaint actually originate from? It has originated from the video which he has actually uploaded.
If he knew that he had done nothing wrong, why did he demand the video be discontinued immediately? And why did the person who was recording the video turn around and said, "Kya ho raha hai yahan?"
This is absolutely a distorted way or version of looking at the entire scenario.
Please tell me what is the right version?
Can I?
Because the video is available for everybody to see. So go ahead, we'll listen. Tell us what is your version.
Well, that's exact. Faye, that's exactly what I'm trying to do here. You have to look at the entire length of the video. It is more than 4 minutes long video, whereby the kids are actually celebrating pre-Holi along with Papon. And there are many children who are there in that room. And the color which is being put on her, I don't see that there is any discomfort. And the manner in which the peck has been, put, there is nothing objectionable. And if it was, then Papon would not be actually putting it live in public domain for anybody to really look at it and see. So we have to see that there is no deceit, there is no sort of intent, there is nothing which was, according to him, that he should be feeling guilty about. It was just an affectionate, peck. It was something which was done absolutely out of compassion, affection of a fatherly figure, of a guru towards a shishya, towards a child. And that's exactly the statement. And we can't really lose sight of the fact that the girl's father has been repeatedly making the statement. And the girl is actually confiding in the family, and I'm sure the family has come forward and has made a statement very clearly and categorically that there is nothing wrong as far as his affection is concerned.
Are you aware of the good touch, bad touch that we teach children in school and college? Do you think it's acceptable for any adult to kiss a 9-year-old child on the mouth without permission?
See, when you're talking about consent, this is something which is absolutely an affectionate behavior. A father who has got two children
is he her
of
father?
Same age,
is he her father, Mr. Khan? Whose father is he?
Well,
every rapist could be somebody's father. That doesn't make the crime any less of a crime.
That so that is the reason why I'm saying that a child confides in her parents. We have to see the statement which has been made by the father. We have to give credence to the statement which has been made by the father, because just to allege that they have been put to some pressure, or they are making this
Mr. Kant, you're not answering my question. Mr. Kant, you're not answering my question. Did he or did he not kiss a 9-year-old child on the mouth?
Well, it's not a kiss on the mouth.
It is.
If you would see, it is a peck, So it is an affection which he has shown towards the child, and I don't see any element of any criminality in the entire situation.
All right, that's the defense, obviously, that the defense lawyer is going to offer. Mr. Dhanraj Banjari, what is your response to that?
The lawyer who is trying to defend is bound to do that because he is going to get a fees for it. Now, what they are talking is completely out of the concern of law. Even if he is a lawyer with his due dignity, let me tell you, he doesn't understand the purposeful meaning of enacting the POCSO Act in the parliament of this country. He doesn't understand the benefit of doubt concept. If he is not aware of the law and legal procedure, he is simply trying to defend his client. That is his bounden duty. He must understand in such cases, when he himself agreeing in his initial dialogue that yes, without consent the act has been done. Now why you are defending? Why you are talking like this? And if somebody who defends it beyond the orbit of law, Let me tell you, Faye, it sounds a bit psychologically deviated by itself and little pervert to be on the side of accused. If he is a lawyer, if he is doing his justified act in the court of law for his fees, I have nothing to say about the gentleman, but he must understand the pros and cons of the legal frame of this country, that why POCSO was enacted. The very purpose was no bad or good touch, no touch at all. And under any pretext of guruship, under any pretext of appreciation or having fatherly figure, it will not stand in the court. I am telling it on national channel with conviction.
All right, Akashdeep, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Faye, I'd like to once again say, let's not talk about what will happen in court and what will not. I will just take 10 seconds to put up a case and say, let's reverse the situation. With due respect to all parties, reverse the situation. Had something like that happened to our singer friend's own child, and that gentleman would have said, I just did it out of affection. Come on, this same lawyer who fights for the singer would have had a different stand to take. Let's not look for avenues in the law now to save your client, which you will do because you are defending him. But put your hand on your heart and say, is this correct? You are saying, yes, I'm seeing a video of him touching the woman, the girl on the lips, but it's not a kiss, it's a peck. Who the hell allows you to peck a 9-year-old on her lips? And then you are justifying it, backing it up with the fact that the girl's father has said that, you know, he's not to be blamed. He must be under social stigma pressure. He may be under pressure, like one of the other speakers said, that she might be thrown out of the contest. She will not be, she'll be banned on the channel. There are so many reasons. Yes, exactly. I am saying on what grounds can Papon go and kiss a girl on the lips, even if he genuinely wanted to be affectionate and say, well done. What nonsense. Just apologize, hang your head in shame. Now you're going to make it dirtier by trying to prove that you're innocent. You cannot. And let's just look at prima facie and talk. This is not the court. Let's put it on our hearts and speak. We are not here as lawyers to that everything we say must be backed by evidence. Can't you say something and realize that someone has crossed the line? It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
It's a shame.
Amber, go ahead.
And I'm disgusted at the way people are defending it.
I'm talking on
Why
the
are
merits.
people defending
Just
it?
one minute.
Okay, all right.
1 minute.
Mr. Jagirdar, go ahead.
No, don't talk merits, sir. This is not a court.
Yes, I am not on the merits.
This is a people's forum. This is not a court.
Sir, I'm not on the merits of the case.
Merits of the case.
But what I'm telling is, POSCO Act is such a loosely drafted act. It is very easy to frame somebody. And you know,
leave the act, sir. Leave the act. I just said leave the act.
Not supporting the
Leave
singer
the
here.
act.
Just imagine.
Just imagine your hand on your heart.
Let me point out that the Supreme Court has suggested that POCSO will be stronger.
Don't derail the debate, gentlemen. You are trying to derail the debate.
What
And I want to ask you one thing.
All the culprits involved in the crime will definitely hate POCSO.
What kind of
People, those who are in connivance with the crime will definitely hate POCSO. People, those who are in connivance with the accused and with the crime will definitely hate POCSO. But people favoring against child abuse, people, torch bearers would definitely like POCSO because we work with children. We know.
I don't want anybody to be, going through the process of.
You don't know the benefits
Mr. Jagirdar, please listen.
You have just seen
It can happen
one
to
case,
anybody.
one odd case.
It can happen to anybody.
What are you talking about?
It can happen to any man in
so
your
many
own
children,
family.
it's a good
So
act.
what about that
Please,
situation?
What kind of people have we become, sir?
No way. I am not punished.
No, we don't have to think about anything else.
Right. One at a time, please. Let me point.
Presume all men are bad.
Nobody is presuming all men are bad. Mr. Jagirdar, why are you taking this personally? Nobody is presuming all
what
men
kind
are
of
bad.
case are you putting up?
In fact, you must realize that gentlemen like Mr. Vanjari, that Mr. Khemka, Mr. Shabir are on this show on a regular basis. Nobody assumes all men are bad. We are talking about this one specific case and this one specific man.
Yeah.
To turn this into a woman versus man thing actually is actually very shallow.
It hurts to realize.
And if you're
And
going to
Faye,
turn
look
this
at
into
the
a woman
fabric of
versus man thing, let me
people,
tell you,
there are
gentlemen like
actually
Mr.
people who
Khemka are not
can
on the
support
side of
something like
whatever side you seem to be on. You're on that side by yourself. Will you actually go as far as to say that a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old should be molested? Mr. Jagrita?
No way, we condemn, we in fact hang that person who has tried to molest. What I am trying to tell you is that it is very easy to frame somebody. Where is the punishment for a false complaint? Now think about the person who has to go through for 5 years, 7 years in the courts, going and what about the child?
Let us be very responsible.
Tomorrow everybody
this
will
is
say,
loose
this
talk
is
to say that this act is loosely drafted.
Also, no.
In fact, this talk is loose talk.
Where is the, in our system, there is no
the act
justice at
has
all.
been there for
no
5 years.
justice.
Has this gentleman gone and challenged this loose act? He has not. He's just misleading the people of this country.
And would you
You
allow,
just cannot do that.
would you allow
I'm sorry to say
your
this.
kind like
What
that?
is loose about it? What is loose? Has he read the act?
He may have to go to court for 4
Is
5
he a
years.
lawyer?
He will have to. He's done something like that.
Sorry, this is not the way you should behave. This is highly irresponsible. What is the loose act? What is the tight act?
And if he has behaved irresponsibly and he has to go to court for a couple of years, so be it.
So be it. In fact, I want to wrap this up by reading
court now for a few years, so be it.
I am not telling. If if he is acquitted, who is going to there are cases where I have seen thousands of cases where they are getting acquitted. Now where is the punishment for a false complainant is my problem.
Sir, don't worry about something before it happens, and when it happens, we'll talk.
They won't understand.
It's universal.
It can happen to
A lot
anybody.
of people get acquitted, a lot of people get punishment. It's why only when it comes to sexual abuse, you make it men versus women. A lot of people get acquitted in all other cases. What happens to them?
Let me just point out for Kumar Jagidar's benefit that the actual one second, gentlemen, stop yelling, calm down. Kumar Jagirdar, calm down. Do you know that the actual conviction rate in our country is less than 30%? In some states it goes down to 19 or 18%, which means not even 1 in 5 actually wind up in jail. That's because of lack of evidence, that's because of conniving cops, that's because the judicial process takes too long. The people who raped Nirbhaya, a case when there is no doubt, are still not punished. And I have to wrap up this discussion, Akashdeep Shavit, as far as I've run out of time, but I just want to read out Papon's statement, and he put this out quite generously on Twitter today. And these are the things he has said. I'm an extremely affectionate and expressive person. Express yourself in words and song, Mr. Papon. Do not touch other people's children. He goes on to say, I have a loving wife of 14 years and 2 young children. In that case, do not kiss other people's children. He also goes on to say, I've been happily married for 14 years. Do not kiss other people's children then. And he says, consider both sides of the story before maligning my public reputation and damaging the reputation of the girl. How dare you even suggest that action taken against you for your behavior will in any way malign the reputation of the girl? Shame on you, Papon. This is the kind of niche behavior that one would expect from someone who is backpedaling after doing something really, really stupid. And then he's gone on to say, however, I do not say that I haven't made a mistake. I might have done it spontaneously. That doesn't make it okay. But in today's environment, to touch a girl, however innocent your thoughts are, is not advisable. There you have it. You finally got it, Papon. Touching a girl is not advisable at all, ever, under any circumstances. So the argument that this was fatherly doesn't stand, because you are not her father, and even if you were, it is not okay to touch an underage person without that person's consent. The argument that this is Guru Shishya is not at all okay. In fact, parents, look at this video today. Realize that when you send your daughter to a guitar class or a singing class or a tuition class or any other sort of class, you have to tell your children that this sort of behavior is not okay. Far too long we have put up with this sort of nonsense from people who think it's okay to hold your hand a little longer, to rub your back a little longer, to put their hands under your hair and rub the nape of your neck, to actually force a kiss on your mouth. This happens to girls, this happens to boys in our country, and it should stop. And if we forgive and if we allow Papon to get away with this, but people are going to think it's okay. A loud and clear message should be sent. In fact, use this video to teach your children what is good touch and bad touch, because this is the very definition of bad touch. If this happens to anybody's child, the person who does it should go to jail. Thanks for watching.